A very good morning to everyone. On behalf of IPA MSB SF, I, Kushi Kumar, cell member of Public Health Office, welcome you all for a very interesting conversation with our guest, Dr. Naresh Gaikwad. Before we begin our today's conversation, I would like to share some information about IPA MSB SF. Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Maharashtra State Branch Students Forum, one of the chief segments of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, has been the go-to platform for pharmacy students in the state of Maharashtra for decennials. Under the auspices of this student-run organization, various budding pharmacists have united to harmonize their energies for exploring the boundless avenues of the pharmaceutical sphere. The IPMSB-SF prevails in its efforts to promote the pharmacy profession due to the continuing support of its associated colleges, the pharmaceutical industry, and the Indian Pharmaceutical Association. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our today's guest, Dr. Naresh Gaikwad. Sir has completed his M.Pharm, PhD, DBM, BJ, and LLB from Nagpur University. Sir has 39 years of teaching experience and over 15 years of rich experience in administrative and industrial arena. He has received many prestigious awards such as Ideal Teacher, Most Cited Research Paper, Best Presentation of Research Paper, and Best Magazine Award. And the list of his achievement doesn't end here. He was granted Junior Research Fellowship of University Grant Commission, New Delhi. He has around 70 research publications in national and international journals. He has also published 3 books and 1 chapter in an international book. And last but not the least, he was also shortlisted for the post of Vice Chancellor in Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Solapur University, Nagpur University, and Yashwantrao Chavan Open University. We welcome you, sir, and it is a pleasure to have such a dignitary with us today. I now hand over the floor to Ms. Vaishnavi Prajapati, Associate Public Relation Officer, and Ms. Asta D'Souza, cell member of the editorial committee for the much-awaited interaction with our guest.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Khushi. We welcome you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Henry Adams here. Teachers affect eternity, and no one can tell where their influence stops. With this, I'd like to begin the interview and ask you the first question, sir. Could you please shed light upon your educational background and specialization?
Hello. Actually, see, you are interviewing me for the Lifetime Achievement Award. When you are giving Lifetime Achievement Award, so what is the necessity of interviewing me for this award? What do you feel? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So what is the necessity of interviewing the person to whom you are giving the Lifetime Achievement Award? When you already have this and other things. So what is the purpose of interviewing? Let me know it.
So this is because we can learn from your experience, because I'm sure that since you have such an expansive teaching experience and industrial experience on top of that, it would be so helpful to us and so insightful to learn from you.
Very good.
You would have stories which will help us throughout our careers, and I cannot wait to hear from you.
Yeah, right. You are perfectly right. See, about my education, I have a B.Pharm, M.Pharm, and a PhD degree. M.Pharm in pharmaceutical chemistry, particularly in medicinal chemistry, and PhD also in medicinal chemistry. Though there is no subject in PhD, only pharmaceutical science subject is there. But my topic was on the medicinal chemistry. Along with these pharmaceutical degrees, I have acquired a Bachelor of Journalism. I have acquired a degree in management, business management, and also a degree in law. Apart from these degrees, I have acquired a diploma in personal management, a diploma in international law. So these are my qualifications. About the positions I have held, I have started from lecturer in 1977 when I have completed my M.Pharm, and immediately after completing my M.Pharm, I was appointed as a lecturer in the same Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Nagpur University. And thereafter, I have promoted to associate professor. Then from associate professor, I become professor in DIPSAR, New Delhi. That is initially it was a government college of pharmacy. That is through the interview from UPSC. I was there for 2 years. Then again, the post of professor came in Nagpur University. So I applied here and joined year back again in Nagpur University as a professor. And within a span of 1 year, I became professor and head of the department. I was a director of Hindustan Organic Chemical Limited for 2 terms. It was nominated by Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Government of India. And this unit of this HOCL, Hindustan Organic Chemical Limited, it is in 3 places. One is in Mumbai, then other is in Kerala, and the third one is in the Medak, Hyderabad. So I was also a director of Hindustan Fluorocarbons also. I was a management council member in Naipur, Chandigarh, nominated by the same Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Government of India. I was on the apex bodies such as UGC, AICT, PCI, and the expert committee members of NAC and NB also. So this is my short introduction, right?
Thank you, sir. That was indeed a very vast list of qualifications and achievements. We are glad you shared that with us. So, growing up, did you always have an inclination towards pursuing this field? And what was the driving force for you to get into this line of work?
Frankly speaking to you, when I had completed my 12th, my inclination was towards the medical profession. But because of 1 marks lacking, I could not get admission in MBBS. So somebody proposes me to join this pharmacy profession. Then I visited the department, I have seen the department, and I find that this is the next profession whereby I can serve to the public. And therefore I have joined this pharmacy profession. Initially, I was inclined to join the medical profession. So this is the second choice, you can say. Yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. That was riveting. Well, I'd like to say that your second choice proved to be the best one here.
Yeah. Third question, that how you have pursued PhD, isn't it?
Yes, sir. How did you decide to go ahead for PhD?
I had already told you that I have joined the department initially as a temporary lecturer, right? So while doing this job of temporary lecturer, I used to go here and there after completion of my teaching work. During the same time, one visiting professor from Banaras Hindu University, Dr. G.B. Singh, he was a professor and head there in pharmacy department. He joined our department as a visiting professor. So he used to see me because his sitting room and my sitting room were adjacent. So he used to see me, and he observed that I'm doing nothing, only doing teaching. So one day he called me and asked me to do the PhD. So actually he was expertise and specialized in Mannich reaction. And as my specialization was in pharmaceutical chemistry, he asked me to pursue the PhD on the Mannich reactions. And particularly, he gave me the nucleus, thiazolidine nucleus. During the same period, he then, after giving me the topic, he prepared himself the synopsis of the topic also. Then he carried me to the head of the department. The head of the department that time was Dr. A.K. Dorle. And he was the recognized supervisor for PhD of Nagpur University. So he recommended me to him for taking me as a student of PhD. So when the Dr. G.B. Singh was a stalwart at that time, when he proposes my name to him, then he readily accepted me as a student of PhD because he was one of the stalwart, one of the renowned person at that time in the pharmacy field. Because you know, at that time only few colleges were there. In Maharashtra, I think there were only two colleges. One is our university department and other is your Bombay College of Pharmacy. And even for MPharm, the Nagpur University students used to go to Sagar because there was no MPharm in Nagpur University. So those who completed B.Pharm from Nagpur University, they used to go to Sagar University for MPharm degree. So this is how I could join the PhD with the help of Dr. G.B. Singh. And from here, from Nagpur, she then shifted to Warangal University. So for any consultation, I used to go to Warangal from Nagpur to get the guidance from Dr. G.B. Singh. Because my actual guide did not know about the Mannich reaction because his specialization was pharmacology. So this is how I completed the PhD.
So is it safe?
Yes.
So is it fair to say that Dr. G.B. Singh was
Yeah. He expired later on.
Dr. G.B. Singh was the driving force for you to pursuing your PhD?
Yeah. He was expertise in Mannich reaction, and you know the Mannich reaction. So there is a removal of active hydrogen from the substrate. That is the Mannich reaction. Yes.
So we are glad to know that even after these many hurdles, your PhD was fruitful and successful. And I'm sure that even G.B. Singh sir as well as Dorle sir must be very proud of you right now, because here you are guiding other students to achieve their dreams.
Yeah. Right. I'm not hearing you properly. Hello?
Am I audible?
Continue.
Oh, not audible, please. Please repeat your question.
Yeah.
Hello. Please repeat your question.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah.
So moving on, I'd like to ask if your parents share a similar educational background as you, and what role did they play in your journey?
Hello. See,
Sir, can you hear me?
yeah, no, I got it.
Okay. Okay.
See, actually, I grown up in the background of slum. My parents were residing in a slum. My father was only matriculate, and mother even did not join any primary school, or she cannot write and read even. So my parents were not educated actually. When I was in final B Farm, my father expired at that time. So my family background as such is not so good. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure even after those hurdles, you conquered them all. So I'm pretty sure they are very proud of you right now.
Yeah. My mother is there. She's around 100 years. But unfortunately, my better off expired in the month of May during the second wave. She is Dr. Maya Gaikwad. She had done MSc PhD, and she was in Indian Bureau of Mines as a super classman officer in central government. So anyway, ask. Hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. So I'm really sorry to hear about your loss.
Yeah.
He's in peace now.
Hmm.
I'm very sure that all of them must be so proud of you even now. And I hope your mother always stays healthy.
Yeah.
Moving to the further question. Next
Yeah.
question. So, what challenges did you face during your higher studies and how did you tackle them? Could you share a few pointers with our audience?
Hello. The main challenges which I face is of the facilities in the department. So in the department at that time, the facilities were not proper. Mainly for research, the requirement at that time was chemical and apparatus, right? So these chemicals and apparatus were not available easily. So I had to acquire it with very much difficulty. And seeing these difficulties to the PhD students, when I became head of the department, then I increased the budget of this chemical and for this apparatus nearly 10 times. I was head for about 10 years, 10 to 11 years. And I increased the budget of this chemical and apparatus around 10 to 12 times. Because I know that because without chemical and apparatus or instruments and you cannot do the research work, right? So basic thing required for the research work is the facilities required for it, So that I have increased in my department. Even in the department, there were students who used to do part-time PhD studies. They, in the daytime, they used to go for employment, and then in the evening, they come for doing the PhD work. So I stopped that things in my department. I have asked the students to do full-time work. Otherwise, don't do it. So that correction I have made for the PhD students in the Nagpur University. So there was some reluctance also at that time, but still I have continued it. So environment is also required for doing the PhD or any research work. Without that, it is practically impossible for the students to do it. Because within a fixed period, they have to complete the PhD work. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, it is very understandable that you made it mandatory for a full-time PhD because it requires our heart and soul. And so I think that it was a very sensible and a very good decision on your part.
Yeah. Yes.
What I gather so far from this conversation is that you've been very inspired and motivated throughout. So can you tell us who or what was your inspiration growing up?
Yes, there were three persons who inspired me. One is Dr. Ambedkar, who got so many degrees in spite of so many odd situations. Then second was Shrikant Jichkar, Dr. Shrikant Jichkar, who was my friend, and he also got a number of degrees with him. He then joined politics also. And then third one is my guru in pharmacy, Dr. B.B. Parashar, who was a ex-teacher of Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Chandigarh University, Chandigarh. And then later on, he joined here in Nagpur University. So he was my guru, and these three persons inspired me to carry out my profession and other activities. Yes.
That is great, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Yes, Vaishnavi, you can continue.
Now, sir, one of the most awaited questions. As per your observations, how has the pandemic affected the industry and your field of work?
Yes, definitely pandemic affected the industry and even the other things also in life, even the education also. About the industry, you know that the workers actually, they fly from the industry, they gone to their home places, and there were no workers to work in the industry. But particularly in pharmaceutical industry, because the pharmaceutical industry manufactures the medicine, they have then tried to maintain the industry in spite of so many odds, in spite of the COVID situation, and they tried to follow the COVID norms and continue the industry. So about the education, it is actually loss of the students because they could not join the colleges, schools because of COVID. And so many losses were there for students. So pandemic affected definitely the industry and education and even the other activities of the people.
We agree. The blow of
Yeah.
pandemic has severely hampered our work and everything, even our. However, I hope that everything gets restored quickly and we can meet teachers in person and go back to lively learning.
Yeah, yeah. Please repeat. It is not audible for me. Please repeat. Hello.
Sir, am I
Please
audible
repeat.
now?
Yes, yes.
I was
Yes,
just
yes.
saying that the blow
Yeah,
of
yeah.
pandemic has been really bad on us and everyone around us. And I just hope that everything gets restored quickly and we can meet our teachers in person and go back to lively learning.
Yeah. Right.
So I'd
Yes.
like to Vaishnavi's question by asking, how do you feel the role of pharmacists helped during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah. Let's see, in the COVID-19, the pharmacies played a major role, though the medical profession did not recognize the pharmacists, but they had done a well job in serving the people for 24 hours and provide the medicines to the affected patients. So they have done a great job during the COVID-19.
Yes, sir, I agree. The 24-hour pharmacies did not
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the appreciation that they deserved. I'm
yeah, yeah,
quite proud that I belong to this selfless profession, and someday even I would be serving the community.
yeah, yeah.
So, how can students interested in research work towards developing a research-oriented mindset?
See, for developing the research-oriented mind, one has to ask oneself the questions like why and how. Why this is so, how this is so. So you have to get the answer of these two questions yourself. So these mindset should be there in the researcher. Then secondly, you should read the things properly. So you have the habit of reading the topic, reading the subject. So reading is also important to develop the research mind. Then you have to accept the negative results also. You see, the researchers sometimes get the negative results. So you should not lose your temper. So these negative results may even convert into a positive result most of the time, because on seeing the negative result, you can divert your attention to the different angles, different directions, right? So you should accept the negative results also. Then you should think what you should do next. So while after getting the results, you have to think for the next plan. What is the next things you have to do? So these things may develop the research mind of a pharmacist. So these qualities should be there so that you can have a research mind to do the research in the pharmacy field.
I agree, sir. Being a dreamer is easy, but being a doer requires dedication, consistency, and perseverance. Only if we have our aim clear in our mind, will we be
Yeah.
successful and achieve great things.
Yeah. Dedication, determination, and even discipline, persuasion of the things. These are the things which you require to get the output for the research. Yes.
So coming to the final question for today, what
Yeah.
qualities and skills, according to you, are a must-have for a budding pharmacist of the country today?
Uh, I think accuracy and precision should be there. One thing. Then the pharmacist should have communication skill. He should communicate with the people. Then he should understand the writing of the doctor, because most of the time the writing of the doctor is very difficult to understand. So writing of the doctor is, in short, it is a proofreading. So you must know the proofreading also, right? Then you should have interpersonal skill also, right? Then pharmacists should have managerial skill also, right? Then the pharmacist. So he should understand the tasks which he is going to face, and last and very important is the patient counseling. So pharmacists should concentrate on the patient counseling also. And nowadays you see that the computer is very helpful. So pharmacists should know the skill of handling the computers also. So this, I think, these are the qualities which requires for the pharmacist, budding pharmacist.
I agree, sir. In today's world where everything is digitalized due to the pandemic and everything, I think communication skills and interpersonal skills, their importance has increased manyfold. So, thank you so much for your advice. I'm sure it will be very helpful for all the budding pharmacists in our field. On
Yeah,
that
yeah.
note, we now come on that note, we now come to the end of this interview. It was a great pleasure to have you here with us today, sir.
I now call upon Mr. Anish Pant, the Pharmacy Education Officer for the year 2021-22, to propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Sir, it has been truly an honor to have you with us today. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking out time from your busy schedule and imparting your knowledge and expertise. These
Yeah.
experiences shared by you will certainly inspire students to never give up, persevere, and achieve their goals. We will be
Yeah.
felicitating you with a Lifetime Achievement Award on the occasion of World Pharmacist Day on the 25th of
Yeah.
September 2021 for your immense
Mhm.
contribution to the field of pharmacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I
So where
thank
it will
Dr.
be held?
Anand Shedge. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
sir.
Where it will be held?
Sir,
This
it will be
program will be
held.
online or offline?
Yes, sir, it will be held online.
Online.
Yes, sir.
It is online or offline?
It is online, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I would also like to thank Dr. Anand Shedge for presenting us with this great opportunity. I would also like to thank our hosts, Ms. Vaishnavi Prajapati and Ms. Astra D'Souza, for such an intriguing conversation. Ms. Tanvi Pansare for the presentation of slides, and Ms. Khushi Kumar for the wonderful introduction and starting the whole conversation on a very positive note. Thank you, everyone.
Convey my thanks to Anand Shirge.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
all
you,
of
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Bye. Bye.